Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Fast CPA and Consultants. I'd like to introduce our CPA, Fulton Abraham Sanchez. Welcome, Fulton.
Thank you, Sarah.
If you're visiting us for the first time a few months ago, we started this series, Tax Talks, where you send us your questions through email, social media. And today's topic we have the taxes for a single member LLC with a foreign owner. So are we ready to begin?
Yes.
Our first question is it an obligation to file taxes as a company as a single member LLC?
No, there is no obligation for a single member LLC to file a tax return as a company. Because LLC companies with one member are disregarded entities, meaning that the IRS and the courts will not consider a company as itself when the LLC has one single member. Therefore, the IRS does not require that the LLC company with one member files a tax return. It is the member that needs to file a tax return at the personal level, personally, for the transactions of the LLC, for example, when there is a real estate income, rental income from real estate, and that income is the LLC is renting out the property and is receiving income, is receiving money for the renting. The owner needs to file a tax return for that. So that is the only case, even though he does not live in the US. If in any other case, any other activity, an LLC with one member and the member is foreign, who is not living in the US, then that member will not need to file a tax return.
Understood. Second question. What requirements and what processes must be carried out to obtain the tax ID for a foreign owner of a single member LLC?
There are two options. Three, I would say. The first one is that the person comes to the US and walks to the IRS office in any city. The person will need to tell to the officer in the IRS that he needs to file a tax return. That's a key question. Why do you need a tax ID or an EIN? The officer is going to ask, because it's a line. So you are either doing the line, and then the officer will come like, what do you need? What do you need to an EIN? If you say any other purpose, they will say, no, you don't need one, and then you'll have to leave. But if you say I need to file a tax return, they will start asking, well, do you have an LLC? I say, yes, I have an LLC and I receive a rental income. Therefore, I have to pay tax for that. Okay, yes. Then they will give you a number, and then you will go to the desk of the officer, and then you will give an original passport. You will fill out an application, sign it, and in 30 days, 30 or 60 days, you will get your IT. You will need an address, better than an address in the US. They can mail to outside of the country, outside of the US, Europe, or Latin America, or Asia, or Australia, but it will be better if you have an address here in the US. That will be the first, let's say, the first process, the first option to do the application or to apply for an IT number when you come to the US and you do personally. Now, the second option is that instead of coming to the US or going personally to the office, you mail all these documents to the IRS. But remember, you need to mail original documents. You cannot mail copies, or you need to certify the passport by the agency that issued the passport. So you need to get a certification of the passport, not a notarization. That is not allowed anymore. It needs to be a legalization. It's a document, copy of the passport that is taken to the institution that issue your passport. It could be the Ministry of Foreign Relations or the Ministry of the Government, depends on what ministry is issuing the passports, and then that ministry needs to certify, legalize your passport, the copy of the passport, and you can submit that to the IRS with the rest of the documentation. There is an application form with your signature and stating why you need to apply for the passport. That's the thing. They will always ask, and if you fill in incorrectly or select the incorrect choice, they will deny or reject your application. That will be the second way. You can do that even from outside of the US. You mail the documents or send them through DHL or to FedEx, and the IRS will return the documents to you, but the IRS will only mail documents in the USA. So be aware of that. Now, there is a third way to do it, and this is perhaps the most popular, and this is what we help our clients. Clients sent us their original passport. It has to be original, cannot be copies, it cannot be shown by Zoom or by video conference. We have to have the original passport in our hands to take a picture or scan the document. Once we have that, then it's what is called, we certify that we have seen the passport, and the passport, we also review the passport and make sure the passport is original and is the person that is claiming the passport is there. Once we have that, we will fill in a couple of forms, certify the passport, and we'll ask the client why there is a need for the application of the passport. And according to that, we will advise the client to select the correct option. Therefore, the application will not be denied. Excuse me. It will take probably 30 to 60 days. We have seen, for example, that when there is when you have to pay taxes, they will give you the EIN. When you are selling a property, for example, and you have to pay tax, you have to file taxes with the IRS, they will also give you, but you have to have proof that you are selling the property. It's usually the closing document that need to be provided, and selected a different option in the form that is requested, the IT number or the tax ID, the personal tax ID. And it takes 30 days, sometimes take longer, depending of the officer and the time. And also the IRS is a little, it's a little behind because of the pandemics, but it's normal that between 30 and 60 days, the application is approved.
Understood. Our third question is, the income from foreign sources to a single member LLC, must it be reflected in my tax report?
No. Foreign income for an LLC is not taxable in the US. Because you are not a US citizen, you are not a US resident. Therefore, it's not. You don't need to reflect that in your tax return.
Understood. And our last question is, what is the recommended period to do the accounting of the LLC with a foreign owner?
It all depends on the transactions. If you have several properties, it would be a good idea, I mean, rental properties, or you have several businesses in the US, it would be a good idea to do monthly accounting. So in a month to month to have the transactions. If you don't have many properties or many businesses in the US, and you have only one property, two properties, the accounting can be in a yearly basis. And then once the financial statements are provided, the tax return can be filed. But yes, make sure that you do this well in advance, because during tax season from January through April or May, we accountants are very, very busy filing returns. So doing an accounting or doing the accounting at the end of the year or by the beginning of the next year to file the return it can be cumbersome because of the amount of transactions. There are a few transactions, no problem. Financial statement will be ready and tax return will be filed. But if there is a lot of transactions, it will be better that you prepare this in a monthly basis.
Understood. So that's all of our questions for today. Thank you, Fulton, for your time and, of course, information. If you have any more questions, you can send them to our email or Facebook accounts, DM. We do have an exclusive private group on Facebook. We'll put the link down below. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next video.
Thank you.